Hi, I'm here with another Peace and Horses update. At this point, we're going to start diving really into what is peace and how do we get more of it in our lives. But first, thank you. We are up to 27 donors. We have, let's see, $1,285 raised. Yay. Thank you so much for everybody who's already contributed. We only have 20 days left in this fundraiser, which means actually we should be at about a little over $3,000. So we have a big gap to fill in here. And if you could help, that would be fantastic. I mean, my vision is so many people just giving what they can to help bring this project into reality. In today's update, we're going to talk about what animals have to teach us, what is our responsibility to creation, and the bigger picture. You know, this isn't just a film project. That's where we're beginning now. That's what this fundraiser is for. But we really have big plans about sanctuaries dotting the world, retreat centers, places where people can come to learn these peace literacy skills, to learn how to communicate on equal ground with animals. So please support us. No time like the present. We have, I'd love to get up to a third funded here, which is where we should be at by this point in the fundraiser, $3,333. Let's do it. Enjoy the update.
I was in a conversation recently with someone where they were talking about how much joy we have in being with another animal just because they exist, the same way that we feel about people, and how important then it is to really take care of the relationship and to really watch out for how does our agenda affect the other. And noticing that as you were talking, you mentioned that we have a lot of power. Well, how can we turn that into equal ground? In the tradition of Zen, there's a precept that says that we can only have peace, we can only be in tune with reality, we can only know ourselves, we can only find that Zen when we are on equal ground. And so part of what we need to do is have equal listening and equal empowerment of the other's perspective, their needs, their being, their truth, their perspective, their wishes, their preferences in the moment be as equal as our preferences are.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And again, that's getting back to the nature that even quantum physics is showing us. Mm-hmm. That there is no me and you, really, when we get down to the deepest levels.
Yeah, there's always an us interacting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that when we look at nature and we see how much of nature, so much of the time, functions in this beautiful harmony, we can really open our eyes to how much animals have to teach us about how to just be at peace, how to be open, how to be curious, how to have an inspired movement and inspired rest. Whereas as humans, we are so driven by our thinking, by our responsibilities, by the agenda, by the tasks, that we can really get out of the flow of the harmony of nature, harmony of our own bodies, the harmony of the rhythms, the harmony of our inner needs calling us to rest or be still or put a foot up or go over and scratch somebody's shoulder. You know, we really can look to these horses and see how naturally they go in and out of that all day long. And it's a very beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. And then that brings us to literacy and our responsibility to creation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's big. Creation is the plants, the animals, the water, the land. Like, what is our responsibility? And this power that we have, how are we using it? Are we using it responsibly or not? We have the ability now with our atomic weapons to wipe out almost all of life on Earth.
Right.
That's a huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we use that to flourish together rather than destroy that which is foreign to us?
Mm-hmm. There's this creation in terms of the world, right? In terms of physical created beings and elements around us. There's also the way that we create the world that we live in through our actions, through our thoughts, through the feelings that we put out there. And so I think we have tremendous responsibility for how do we create our world. And what's our world? It's the moment that we have here and now, right, with each other. And so that's so much of this work that you're bringing forward is really looking at how do we create our world moment by moment by moment, with the fact that my world is right here. Your world is right there. When we're together, we have this one world between us. Mm-hmm. And some philosophers have said that there are really 7 billion worlds on this one planet, that we each have our own. And so if we come into inner peace, that is world peace, one by one by one. And that's not the whole story. The whole story is that we're also connected. So you and I have a world together right now in this moment. And anybody who's listening to us is part of this world that we're having together in that shared space, that shared listening, that shared feeling. And so by creating that kind of peace, we can really spread that ripple of the peace of our created world together.
And so my hope is that this piques people's interest and that they want to hear more of it and come and support us on this journey, because not only do you have to think about these things, but it really takes inspired action. So anybody who's listening and saying, oh yeah, I want to hear more of that, please, help us spread this, because the more people that join and say, yes, this is important to me, I want to learn more about this, the quicker it's going to spread. So this is really the opportunity that we're providing, stepping out of our own comfort zones. It takes a lot to film and put it together and edit it and do all the graphics and make it so that it is something that people can learn from.
And feel a part of. Really what we're wanting to do is build community, knowing that part of our responsibility to creation is knowing that all of us are part of that this literacy includes everybody. It includes all of our relationships. And that's relationships with our animals. It's relationships with plants. It's relationship with our climate. It's relationship with one another. It's relationship within our relationships with one another. So you and I might have a relationship about this conversation. We might have a relationship about getting together and hosting retreat. That's our world, and we're responsible to all of it. And the more that we have more and more people showing up for that, then the more complete and total this feeling of really being together and spreading this literacy can really become. That's my longing. My longing is for this to be about doing things with a lot of togetherness. And maybe some of it's over technology, but I would love over time to see that peace literacy and peace with horses is taking off so much that we have spaces dotting the world where we know that this is the strategy. We've got a structure of buildings and land and workshops and skills that we can be relying on, and that we've got resources to take the time and come together to be experiencing this in person and with dogs and horses and the birds of nature and the trees and the food, and really be feeling the joy that is in that part of our reality. And I know that that's something that we talk about and certainly want to invite people in to participate with us as we move this movement forward.